so messed up, yeah, everything's messed up. We're going from this mess up to the next setup. Everything seems so messed up, but it's just our setup.
Hello friends, welcome to Messed Up to Setups. I am Michael Halcomb, and in this episode I want to share with you how I write jokes, and we're going to be looking at the math of sarcasm, how sarcasm works, in other words. A lot of times I think it's a good strategy to, if you know logical fallacies, to start there, or rhetorical devices. You can kind of start there, have an idea of where you want to go, and then it makes it a little easier to move forward. Now, I say that knowing that in the background, like my own comic persona and my own writing process, they're sort of sitting in the background. So I know who I am as a writer. I know who I am as a character or persona on stage, which is really just an extension of myself, maybe a couple degrees off, or an exaggerated extension of myself. So I'm aware of my backstory. I'm aware of my character arc, my persona, my comic persona, and all that. So it's really helpful. And maybe I'll do some episodes on that, but it's really helpful if you know those sort of things. And also you have a joke writing process in place. And then you're familiar with logical fallacies, rhetorical devices, and maybe more importantly, joke structures. All right. So, by the way, if you do want to read about crafting your comic persona, I've written a blog on MichaelHalcomb.Live about that. You can go check that out and subscribe while you're there. It's free. You'll get a newsletter, and it'll be sent right to your inbox. So that's pretty cool. By the way, I'm on X, I'm on Insta, I'm on Facebook, I'm on MichaelHalcomb.Live, and all the things. So if you're on there, find me and follow me. That'll help me out a lot. But let's get to it. I'm going to share my screen here, and we're going to talk about how I write jokes, particularly in this one using sarcasm. So the math of sarcasm. Now, let's just talk about sarcasm and what it is. Now, a lot of people define sarcasm as saying one thing, meaning another, and that's a pretty decent description of what it is. But I think there's more to it than that. We can also describe it as when our words go high, or let's and our words go high, meaning goes low. All right. So in other words, your words are gonna it seems like you're taking the high route, but actually in meaning you're taking the low road. Right. You're doing like a gut punch or a punch below the belt, that kind of thing. So saying one thing, meaning another. Words go high. Put it there. Meaning goes low. And so most of us, I want to start with sarcasm here because it's pretty easy. It comes natural for most of us. We can be smart at it. We can be sarcastic. Now, another thing that goes into this, right, is that if you want a joke to hit, to punch, to be funny, like a lot of times, more personal jokes, they hit better, right? Because people can relate, right? There's a sort of universality that you're touching on, whereas something like, if we write from headlines or news articles, those can be funny, but they often don't have the punch or the hit that personal jokes do. So I thought, I have a log of premises that are joke ideas that I keep, jokes that need written, right? Just ideas. Here's something that needs written, and I'll just see or hear something, experience something, think something, and I'll get out my phone and write the note in there. I keep this database. So, like, for example, I was in an airport in Denver recently, standing in a line at Chick-fil-A, and those three teammates from this high school hockey team, and they had all dyed their hair orange, which I thought was interesting. I didn't even think of it until just now, but I'm thinking, what are you guys trying to do? Like honor Trump, right? So we can start making a bunch of jokes about that just by being sarcastic, where our words go high. You guys trying to honor Trump, right? It seems like a good thing, but really the meaning's low. It's a punch below the belt, right? So I thought, one thing we could look at today. So I got a buddy, and his wife is always sending him out to pick stuff up. So he'll often call me and we'll talk comedy and talk jokes while he's out picking stuff up for her. Like she'll be on Facebook groups and find a mini Christmas tree and have him go get it, or a letter, a wooden letter of their last name, and she'll have him go get it, and so on and so forth. So that's just the idea, the kernel of the idea, right? And I thought we could try to write some jokes about that because that's kind of personal. It's more personal than less, right? Like a news article or something like that. So, all right. How should I write this? So I'll say, let's do something like this. Here's the idea. Um, my buddy's wife always sends him out to pick up things she finds on Facebook. All right, let's pick up free things. Say that she finds on Facebook. Now, we might be able to whittle some of this down, but that's the idea for now. And if we use what I like to do is I have a writing process, and um, it's pretty helpful. So you start with the idea there, and then you can come up with a bit name. So let's see. And if you've watched my other 2 or 3 videos on this so far in the podcast, you'll see this. But come up with a bit name that gives you some angle, an angle, a road to start down. Like I'm a scholar too, so when I write book chapters and essays, I find if I get a chapter name or a title, that helps me get going in the right direction. Um, so we'll just write Facebook freebies. Another name could be something to do with the husband, uh, like husbands wild goose hunts or something like that. I don't know. But we'll go with Facebook freebies for now. So I'm just brainstorming, right? Whoops. And so here, the next bit we'll start with a premise, right? Or move to a premise, and that's a negative opinion about this. We're not trying to be funny yet. So let's see. So a negative opinion about my buddy's wife, about my buddy, about the free things, about Facebook. So we have a bunch of things that we could give a negative opinion about. So we could also do, this is like, my buddy is now an errand boy. My buddy runs errands. So I'll just say this, my buddy's wife takes advantage of him sending out to get free sending him to pick up free things she finds on Facebook. Now we could just leave it at my buddy's wife takes advantage of him. This is fine though. My buddy's wife takes advantage of him by sending him out to pick up free things she finds on Facebook. All right. So what we're gonna do next is now we're gonna go to the setup, and then we'd have our comic persona, right? I'm not gonna necessarily go into mine right there, but you need to write from yours. So my buddy's wife takes advantage of him by sending him out to pick up free things she finds on Facebook. So the setup here, right, is the next step, and this is going to be the opening line of the joke. And all right, so sometimes you can go right from the premise to that, or just condense it. Now, word economy is really important when you're trying to write jokes. You don't need to add a bunch of fluff words in there or unnecessary words. So I'm just going to do this setup. Let's just do my buddy hates. That could also be premise. My buddy hates when his wife sends him out to pick up free things she finds on Facebook. All right, so you're going to write from your persona. How would you write from your persona, right? I have my own, and I'm just writing in general, kind of from that persona here. I don't want to necessarily lay that bare just yet, but you need to write from your own persona. And again, that's you but just a little bit of an exaggeration of you. Once you nail this, it helps you write from a specific angle, right? All right, so once you get your persona, then you're going to establish a norm, and then you're going to do the violation of the norm. So let's go to the norm. Now, the norm is just what are people expecting, right? When my buddy hates when his wife sends him out to pick up free things she finds on Facebook. What is the norm that people are expecting him to pick up? Right. So, toys, furniture, silverware, plates, china. That's funny. You could do a wordplay there. But again, we're keeping sarcasm in mind here. So we're going to use that. We're going to come back to that. We'll talk about that in a minute. So, all right, now let's think of some violations. Now, these are playfully inappropriate things, playfully inappropriate violations. What are some things that she could be sending him out to pick up that he hates, right? So homeless people, right? The homeless, ex-boyfriends. What else? Used pillows. Let's see. My buddy hates when his wife sends him out to pick up free things she finds on Facebook. Um, Pregnancy tests, dates with another guy. My buddy hates when his wife sends him out to pick up free things she finds on Facebook. So, what's something playfully inappropriate that she might find on Facebook that she would have him sent out to pick up? Her drugs. What else? My buddy hates when his wife sends him out to pick up free things she finds on Facebook. We're expecting toys, furniture, silverware, plates, china, homeless. He goes out and picks up the homeless, got to bring them back. An ex-boyfriend, got to bring them back. Use pillows, pregnancy tests, dates with another guy. What are those? Groupons. I'd say even like Groupons for dates with another guy. Her drugs, her alcohol. All right, that's good for now. Now we've got the violation set up. We violated it, and one thing we can do here, we can ask how blank is the norm, right? So we're gonna violate the norm. So for instance, if the norm is my buddy hates picking things up, we're gonna ask how much does he hate picking things up, right? Or if the norm here is so how blank is the norm? How often is she sending him out to do this? And then you're gonna so how blank is the norm? How often is she sending him out to do this? Right? That's another way to do it. How good are the things that she's sending, free things she's sending him out to pick up? So these are all things we can ask this questioner here. How good or how many things she's sending him to pick up? And this is going to help us generate a punchline, right? How often is she sending him out? Or how much does he hate going? Those sorts of things. And then finally, at the end, we can heighten this, right? So, based on what we have now, we're going to come up with some punches and then heighten. So these or tag. It's another way to describe it. So my buddy hates when his wife sends him out to pick up free things she finds on Facebook, especially Groupons for dates with other men. Right? Boom, there you got a joke. So joke one, especially Groupons with other men. So there's the first one. My buddy hates when his wife sends him out to pick up free things that she finds on Facebook. Like you could do one kind of inappropriate STD, an STD, especially STDs, right? My buddy hates when his wife sends him out to pick up free things that she finds on Facebook. Man, so there's a few jokes now. We could heighten this with sarcasm if we want. So that's where we say one thing and mean another. Our words go high and our meaning goes low. I didn't use the sarcasm for the punch. I could do that. So one thing my buddy hates when his wife sends him out to pick up free things she finds on Facebook. So let's just do a second punch. So punch 2 here. We got 2 punch A and punch B. Let's do that. All right, so now we could just straight up do the sarcasm here. My buddy hates when his wife sends him out to pick up free things that she finds on Facebook. So if we want to be sarcastic about her or about the things that she's having him pick up, that's 2 options. So we're going to say one thing and mean the other. So we could actually just revamp these. So we could be like, for 1 here, because STDs are always great fun. And there you go, that's the sarcasm, right? Or if we wanted to do, because hey, nothing like a thing similar to that, because hey, being surprised, hey, like nothing like bringing one of her exes back to the house. Boom, there we go. So we've just modified those using sarcasm, and then we can heighten it, right? And we do that by adding tags. So we just pick which direction we're going to go, or we could just use those 3, right? We could use one of these is the punch, and the other 2 is tags if we want, or we could generate new ones. So my buddy hates when his wife sends him out to pick up free things that she finds on Facebook. Because hey, nothing like bringing one of her exes back to the house, right? My buddy hates when his wife sends him out to pick up free things she finds on Facebook. Because STDs are always a great find, or nothing like a discount on STDs, or something like that. So we could do a version of that, because nothing like STD, right? So there's another way to do that. And then we could again just ask the other question, like, so if the STD scoring the STD is the norm, like how bad is it? And we could be more sarcastic here. Because hey, nothing like bringing one of her exes back to the house, right? So how bad if bringing the ex back to the house is the norm? How often is that? You could do often, or how bad is it, right? So let's do 1 for each. So how often does that happen? I'm just making myself notes here. Because hey, nothing like bringing one of our exes back to the house. Or 2, or 3. There you go. So that's, and then I'm thinking about how to flip this. My buddy hates when he sends his wife out to pick up. My buddy hates when his wife sends him out to pick up free things that she finds on Facebook. I think you say like flip it, do a sort of parallelism. My buddy also hates doctor and STD. So boom, there we go. We got 3 jokes. So I'll do the final joke here. One of her exes back to the house. I'm gonna put because hey, nothing like bringing one of her exes back to the house. So I'm gonna put my first joke there, my first punch there, and then or 2, or 3, and then we'll do this 4th one. Turns out my buddy also hates when his wife sends him to the doctor with an STD. So boom, we got 4 jokes out of that, and we did this in a pretty short amount of time. 15 or so minutes, and there you go. So we used sarcasm here, and we used this funnel here. Mike Lucas talks about this in his work, which is good work. You should go check it out. The joke blueprint here, but with the idea, the bit name, the premise, the setup, persona, norm, violation, and then the violation of that norm, and then the punch, and then the heightening it, tagging it. So there you go, man. That's pretty fun. I always enjoy this, and you see, you just got to put in the work. You got to just sit down and write. Now, I think that's important. Some people say they hate writing, they don't want to write, they just want to get up and be funny. Okay, but um, you're more likely to have success if you got the structure. So this has been another episode of Messed Up to Setups. And again, go check out MichaelHalcomb.Live. Please subscribe on there. And after you do that, check out my Facebook page, my Insta page, my X page, and go subscribe on those as well. That would be very helpful to me. Also, subscribe on YouTube. That would be huge. If you don't subscribe on any of those other ones, subscribe on YouTube, please. And share this around, like it, all that jazz. So, all right, I'm Michael Halcomb. Check out MichaelHalcomb.Live. I'm going to stop there and say I hope that helps.
It's all messed up, yeah. Everything's messed up. We're going from this mess up to the next setup. Everything seems so messed up, but it's just our setup.